What's up, guys? GIJOE here with another look at some of the figures we got in this week. Today we're looking at the GIJOE Classified Cobra Snake Battlesuit vehicle, I guess, right? I think it would be, yeah, a vehicle, right? I don't think it would be anything more than that. So it's a mech suit, right? And it's based off of, I forgot what year it was, but it did come out back in the day. And, you know, you're able to put your figure in there and all that stuff. So they wanted to do a modern version. And I was super stoked when I saw the announcement of this. And I definitely, you know, had to get them. You know, the pre-orders came out, I think they released last week or so. So I was able to get them in. And here he is. I ordered two. And that's basically my limit for this one. I wasn't trying to go crazy and get, you know, a big old army of these. Even though it's pretty cool, you know, the only problem with these is these are kind of big. So trying to find room is kind of hard. But anyway, so let's look at the box art. As you can see, you know, has a big Cobra sign here, the name, GIJOE Classified Suit, and you got a basically, you know, the snakes in action, which is really, really, the way it looks is really, really cool. These are intense. Like I said, when I saw, when they revealed, I think it was it San Diego Comic-Con last year? I don't remember. But I was like all for it. So let's look at the box closely. As you can see, Cobra Suit here. This is 162 in the line. On this side here is the attributes and, you know, the portrait of the snake. And then on this side, oh, here's the art. You can really see. I'm gonna go, like I said, 162. And on the back, basically everything that it comes with. This thing barely fits in my little, you know, my little box, which I will probably update pretty soon. But anyway, yeah, I mean, you can see exactly what it comes with. It comes, of course, the figure or vehicle, and then you got the fire cannon. Then the claw, a missile, and then I guess another missile, and then you got some blast effects on there, which is pretty awesome. All right, so let's get this guy out of, oh wait, hold on. Sorry, you got also the, you know, usually they come with the instructions, but they didn't do this time. So you have basically the instructions back here, how to put everything. And then you got some more like things coming out of what, you know, I guess it does. It looks like it lights up, but it doesn't. So, you know, anyway, so we'll look at the figure or the vehicle, and then we will put a GIJOE Cobra Trooper in there and all that good stuff. All right. All right, here is the Cobra Snake out of the packaging, looking menacing and pretty cool. This guy is about close to 12 inches tall. It is big. It is definitely going to be a shelf hogger, a presence on there, because of course, you know, usually my 12-inch figures are the Mondo figures. So, you know, so this is pretty big. You know, if we do a little comparison to a 6-inch figure, you can see that this guy is very huge. And I'm really loving the colors and everything on it. It looks really neat. It looks really cool. It does give me that, a little bit of the vibe of the retro. You know, I never had that as a kid, but I always thought it was interesting. But of course, this is modern and it's more articulated. It has a lot more stuff to do with it. So that's really cool. I really found it funny how people, when it first revealed, like people, I knew that it was a seated vehicle, or you had to, the character has to sit down in it. I knew that on the get-go. A lot of people are like, well, the legs will fit here and here, and no, I knew it was gonna be seated. I just knew that. So that was really, really funny when people were kind of talking about it, like, oh, how are you gonna get the figure in there? Or does it not come with a figure, or is it just like that? So I don't know. I mean, it'd be pretty cool if it was just a regular robot, but of course this is a mech suit. So, you know, it basically, you know, someone gets in it and they control it. So it's kind of like a vehicle, you know, as well. All right, so as you can see, we have the front of the mech suit Snake, which, like I said, like this whole dome thing here is real reminiscent of the original one. So I remember that. So again, and then there were some pieces that you had to add on, including this front part here, and then these back, I guess, for the fuel. I don't know, does this thing fly, or does it like at least, you know, jump in the air? And yeah, you know, because it looks like this part has maybe some blast effects, so it can go whoosh, you know, and I think that's what it does. But there were 3 different pieces that was part of this. Let me double check. Yeah, it was these 3 pieces that you had to add on to the figure, so they were not on there, but very easy to put on, you know, and they fit just right in. And so that's really cool. Another piece that had to be added on was this front piece here. So let's go ahead and pull this out. So basically it's like kind of like the step ladder. Has some, you know, when you pull it up, you can see the screen. The screen will be right there in front of the character. So you can see, actually there's 3 little screens right there and stuff like that. So that's really cool. And of course, you know, they climb up and then get into the suit. As you can see in the suit, there's the seats and there's more control, like a panel on this side. You got, oh, well, actually you can also, to make it easier for yourself, open these on the side so you can see more on there. There's more controls, colors, and all that stuff. And then you got these joysticks here, which look a little bit backwards, I think, because they should be facing that way. There you go. So that's really cool. And then you got the seat belt on here. I would be careful because these are the seat belts you see on the other, you know, maybe like on his tank and stuff. And just be careful because they do tend to come off easily or rip off easily. So that's really cool. The cockpit, that's basically it. So like I said, I knew for a fact that you had to sit the figure. So let's go ahead and do that now. So I got my favorite trooper. So the retro trooper is going to be the guy who'll be controlling these. I need to get a couple more. I saw on Amazon that they have them on sale for $18. So I'm going to have to grab a couple of more because I do need drivers for the Cobra Claw. Because I got those 2. I got 2 of those off Amazon. I mean, Amazon. Facebook Marketplace or Facebook, and I didn't get the pilots because I didn't want the pilots. Nothing against girl toys or figures, of course, we got some cool ones, but I just didn't want them. So I was playing with this earlier and I was trying to get him in where he's actually sitting down. So there we go. Let's see here. I had to take some of the stuff off of him though, but as you can see, he doesn't fit as snug as maybe the smaller characters. I mean, he is a small character though, so just kind of maneuver. You kind of put that on there, and you can see there he is in front. So you can put the joysticks, I guess. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna bust those open, so I don't know if I'm gonna really mess with those. Let's see if I can get it without. There's one. Push down. There's one. Ah, I went right through. Oh geez. Yeah, it's kind of hard. These don't. Oh, you can. There's one, and then here's the other. So I don't know. I kind of made them a little. I'm just gonna leave them like that because I really don't want to break those. But yeah, but just leave it like that. It's no big deal. You can't really see. But anyway, let me see if the Cobra helmet will fit because when I did it earlier, it didn't fit. So let's see if we can get him in there. So yeah, I mean that looks really cool. I really like that. So yeah, let's go ahead and start closing all these little gaps things down. I think this goes down first. Stuck on the head. Yeah, you put that down first, and then you put, oh, hold on. I think this goes, there we go. And you got these little panels there. And you can barely see him. The light's messing up and it's kind of dark, but you can actually see his face there. You can see it, right? Okay, let me, I want to do something real quick with that head sculpt, if we could just move him. Yeah, that helmet kind of hinders it just a little, just a tiny bit, but that looks really cool, actually. Yeah, I mean, that looks really neat, so. There you go. Here, just put that again. There we go. And like I said, you can definitely see it when you put the light there. You can see his face. That's really cool. So yeah, fun. I'm okay. All right. Now when I lifted this guy, he seemed kind of light, and you know, of course, he's made out of plastic, so it's kind of light. But now that you put the figure, there's a little, no, it's still light. I don't know. I'm used to heavy figures, so when I have big figures, you know, like, you know, let's say Clawface. I mean, that boy's heavy, and I thought maybe this would be a little heavy, but it's really not. It's really light, so that's not a bad thing. All right, so let's look at some of the articulation and some of the things it comes with. So, well, yeah, let's take a closer look on the sides of the figure. So one thing about that, like, this basically pops open a little bit to give you more of a space, you know, you can push it all the way in, or it comes out. Almost like an accordion kind of thing. So both arms do that, but you can force them in. So like I said, you got those gray colors, light gray, and then the dark gray here. You got some blacks on, you know, the legs. So, and then you got that red stripe, and the decals are in red. There's danger. You know, you got the M7 here. I'm not sure what that means. If you know in the comments, let me know. There's that. I guess that's a play button. I don't know what that means. There's on both sides. You got the Cobra Xena right here, the Cobra Signal, and then you got just a lot of really cool little things on this thing. Here's the back of the figure. Of course, you got the caution jet fuel signs on those things. They look a little warped on mine, as you can see. The caution looks, but maybe that's the way it's supposed to look. You know, you got all these screws too, so I'm not used to seeing something with a bunch of screws. So don't put this in water because it will rust. And then here's the legs. Legs looking really cool. Then you got those cool feet, you know. Yeah, I guess it's meant to be faded. So articulation, the legs go like that, all the way back. So this does move. So you can have that going if you wanted to, as you're showing the mech running, you know, going after Joe's. This also articulates up and down. And then you got the arms that swivel all the way around if you want to. And then you got, you know, the joint on that. So, you know, pretty really cool. Like I said, like, you know, you can do a lot with this guy. Very fun. I'm really liking this. I was very excited when it was announced, you know, but the only thing I gotta say is the price, but we'll talk about that in a bit. All right, so it does come with some few accessories. Now, of course, the hands, you know, are, you know, the main thing that comes with it. You can hold figures up, I guess. Let's see here. I wonder if you can. Well, no, maybe not. Well, maybe you could. I mean, I don't know. I guess in a sense you can hold a figure upside down, I guess. Let's see how that looks. So today was the registration for the Comic-Con early registration, and I missed it. Can you believe that? I didn't even buy. Hopefully I can get tickets later, but yeah, hopefully I make it to San Diego Comic-Con next year. So yeah, you can hold the figure like that if you wanted to. The thing I don't like about these hands is they're not articulated, which I really wish they were, because that would have been pretty cool, you know, part of it, but they're not. I guess, you know, for costs, I guess they want to save money. They didn't make it like that, which is unfortunate. Another thing too, these little ball things here were out of the packaging, and I guess they help with an extension of the thing, because it does look a little weird when you put, you know, your hand right there. It doesn't really, it hinders, actually doesn't even go in. It hinders everything. You can't move it. So you had to install these little peg thingies to help with that. So definitely, you know, cool. All these little pistons right here, little things on the arms. It's really cool. Or, you know. So yeah, so that of course it comes with the gripping hands, which you can grip a gun, I guess, or whatever. But it kind of comes with its own accessories where you don't have to do any of that, because this is basically, you know, a vehicle suit that comes with cool different things. So let's look at each one of them. First and foremost, we got the claw. Another thing, again, this is just pure plastic. You know, it's a solid piece. It does not articulate, which also freaking sucks, because, you know, I'm using poor Beachhead, and I see that his gun got warped, so you know, I guess you can hold them by that. Let's see if you can hold them. No, I don't think you can hold them to the side or the leg. Here you go. Ah, he's got you, mother trucker, let me go. So yeah, got that. Let go. Yeah, look at I accidentally warped my gun. That sucks. Does this come off? Oh, it's this piece right here. Oh, lordy lord. Okay, don't break on me, please. That's the only thing about the little guns, they break easily. All right, so then another thing is it comes with a missile, which to me is a little awkward because it just looks weird with a missile like that. To me, it just looks strange. I mean, you shoot the missile. Whoosh. I mean, I don't know. That's just weird for me. I don't get it. You know, just these attachments are not the ones I'm really gonna use, to be honest. But that's cool. It comes with a missile. I would think it would mainly, if it had a missile rack that it can come out, that would have been pretty cool. But of course, cost, you know. Now this, I thought it was a missile at first because it kind of looks like a missile. If you look at the missile, right, it kind of looks the same. But this is kind of like a blaster. So this is actually pretty neat. I think I'll be using this. So, you know, choom, choom, choom. So, yeah, I guess there's bales there or whatever, or, you know, or this, yeah, this would be a missile. Because it doesn't say in the box what these things are. Oh. There we go, knocking the camera over. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, it doesn't say what these things are. He's 11.9 inches. So yeah, he's basically 12 inches. So yeah, you know, you got that. And then what I like is the flamethrower, which to me is a little weird too, because there's a handle here on the flamethrower, right? But how is he going to, you know, handle it? Like, first of all, his hands don't reach because they're too big. So for you to try to, you would have to be, they won't reach, you know, at all. Like, even if I tried my best to reach for, let's see, it doesn't really, so that's a little weird for me, because like it should, since it's like a vehicle or computer, I guess you could say, it should be able to shoot the flame without, you know, with no problem anyway, like with the button, you know, why would you need a handle? So that to me is a little strange. And then it looks like the handle's backwards, right? Or I don't know, because there's like a gap right there, but yeah, I don't know. And then it comes with some blast effects or fire effects, and I lost one of them. Oh, here it is. So here's basically and we've seen these before. I think we started out seeing these with the Viper 3-packs. So if you want to do where it starts, of course, you also saw this with Torch. And then here is the ball of fire, which doesn't even fit. Like, there you go. Whoosh. But of course, my favorite, and probably what I'm going to use on this mostly, is the whole stream of fire, which is really neat. I guess it comes like this, right? I don't know. And I did notice that this cannon also has a hole for that. So, you know, I guess you can still, you know, use that also with that. But yeah, I think this is how I'm gonna display my guy, my snake. My snake, I got a snake. But yeah, so let's go and get my final thoughts on them while I already have them up, so that way we can just, you know, instead of doing other edits. All in all, this is a really cool figure, really cool vehicle addition. It's really fun. I'm ecstatic that I got it. Like, I'm actually happy that I got this because I did want it when I first revealed. I thought it was super cool out of all the reviews that they did. The only problem for me, and to be honest, I think the price is a little bit too much. I think you know, I mean, I usually don't complain about pricing. I'm not one to like, oh, you know, I'm not gonna get too much. I don't complain, you know. But I think this probably should have been $55, $60. I think 75 is kind of pushing it, to be honest. I don't think it's worth that much. Of course, maybe if it came with the figure, or maybe if it came with a little bit more stuff, more things to, accessories to interchange, or maybe like a little missile system in the back or something. I think that would have been kind of suffice for the pricing. Just for me, you know, like I said, you know, I don't really mind. I mean, I do mind, of course, you know, but I think in a sense that to me is just a little problem, not problem, but a little disappointing. But that's pretty cool. At first I had trouble getting the trooper in earlier, and I thought I was kind of mad about that, but I kind of got him in. So that's really cool that you can add your favorite figure in there. I can see his face from now. That's really cool. I mean, it looks a solid, really cool figure or vehicle. I don't even know what to say, but it's a really cool toy. This is really fun to have. So yeah. All right, so you can only get this on Hasbro Pulse, unfortunately, and it did sell out. There were some that did have, the other day when it released, I think it released last week sometime, there was some, of course, the pre-orders got canceled, because once it releases on the release date, I think they give you 5 days in order to cancel your pre-order, or your pre-order doesn't go through, and then they sell whatever stock they didn't sell. So that did happen, and some people were able to grab some, but this is a Hasbro Pulse exclusive, so it's not going to show up anywhere else, unfortunately. So, you know, if you didn't get the pre-order, you might not get it. But I did notice that Big Bad Toy Story does get some of the stock of, and actually I also noticed Amazon is getting some of their exclusives too, which is weird. So you might maybe get them later on those two places. If I see it, I'll let y'all know. But yeah, it's a pretty cool figure. We have a lot of G.I. Joe Classified coming in, and I'm like way behind because the releases are insane. On Hasbro Pulse, they have Buddha is already out. Let's see here. Buddha, the 2-pack of Sergeant Slaughter and Mercer, which also are on Amazon, are out also. And Slice and Dice is up also. And then on Amazon this past week, the MMS with Hawk just released. And then, what's the other one? I think as a Desert Scorpion also is coming out this week. I think it's already been shipping. Some people collectors got them. I can't wait for that one. I'm excited about that one. And then we have, I still haven't got the Retro Cover Girl or Televiper. I'll get those really soon, don't worry. And then I still haven't got the Snake Eyes or the Major Blood yet. So I'll get those soon also to review. But let's see what else. Oh yeah, and then all the All Striker is also releasing next week. It jumped up from December all the way up to this month. So it's going to be a lot of videos coming. I know I haven't had videos lately, but yeah. And then I also have my Big Bad Toy Store pile of loot that's coming. So that's another thing that I'll be coming to me soon. And then, of course, you know, yeah, I mean, some of the Jada Scooby-Doo figures will also be coming too. So, you know, we're going to have some more videos coming out. Don't worry, guys. I'll have enough stuff for you to see. But anyway, yeah, so let me know what you guys think in the comments. Have you got this guy? Do you think it's pretty cool? Are you upset about the price? Upset how it's just an exclusive? Let me know in the comments, and until next time, Cobra!
Ladies and gentlemen.
Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.